Hi everyone, it's Mom, and I am going to make homemade egg noodles and chicken and noodle soup. If depending on how many people you want one egg yolk per person that you're gonna feed. I'm gonna make 2 servings, so I'm gonna make 2 eggs. I always just use the eggshell to save my yolk. And I've got my egg whites here, but if you're not able to do that, another easy way to separate your egg and yolk is as unromantic as it is with your hand. So I'll kind of show you how to do that here. And just kind of plop it in your hand and let the whites fall through. Put your yolk in. And then what you need to do is for every yolk that you have, I use the half of an eggshell, and that's how much milk you put in. So for each egg yolk, you put in 1 shell of milk. And people may have some issues with this, a salmonella. These are gonna be cooked, so I'm not gonna worry about it. And then there's not really a written recipe for this. And then you just start putting in flour. And you just keep putting it in until it's kind of a dough texture. You don't want it to be sticky anymore. And so for this chicken noodle soup, I have, for 2 people, I have probably 4 skinless, boneless chicken thighs cut up in there. You can use a rotisserie chicken. You don't have to put any chicken in there at all if you don't want to, if you don't have anything. And just want to make noodles. When I was a kid, that's all I liked was the noodle part. I didn't like the chicken part. So, and then I don't typically measure, but I measured for this video just so I could kind of know how much I put in there. But I put 4 cups of chicken broth, and you can use bouillon cubes, or if you actually have chicken broth, or the box chicken broth, any of that is fine. It doesn't matter that much. So I'm just going to knead this until it's it should be soft, not sticky. So I'm actually pretty close to being there, and I just kind of knead it until it's not sticky anymore. And I'm just going to roll this out. And I kind of like to leave it a little bit. I don't like it super thin. I'm going to turn this on to get, this is my crazy burner that the striker doesn't work. Okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. Not at all. And actually, if you want, you can always use the whole egg, and it will actually make more noodles, but they're not quite as tender. But, if you only have 2 eggs and you got a bunch of people to cook for, that's totally fine. It is no big deal. So that's about, I don't know, 1/8 of an inch or so. And then I'm just going to use my knife and cut it. My fancy knife that my husband made for me. He didn't make it for me. That was actually a lie. Bought it for me. And then you can just, the other thing that I've used in the past is a pizza cutter. You can use that because this actually takes a pretty sharp knife to cut it this way. The other thing that you want to do is use plenty of flour in between the noodles. Because you don't want them sticking together. And then if there's lots of flour on there, it will help thicken up your chicken and noodles. So I kind of do this. And then these are ready to throw in. They take about 20 minutes to cook. And you want your soup, your broth, to be in a rolling boil. If it's not, they'll stick together. And these also freeze really well. So what I'll do, if I'm going to freeze them, you can make a big, batch of them and cook half of them, freeze half of them. I kind of just put them out on the counter, let them set out a couple hours. I'll throw them in the freezer on a cookie sheet. And then I will, once they're frozen, then throw them in a bag. If you throw them in a bag like this, they kind of stick together. And I don't know if they'll work as well. So, as soon as this gets to a rolling boil, I'll throw those in. It takes about 20 minutes and then you're good to go. I don't put a lot. Some people will put like onions or carrots in their chicken and noodles. I usually don't put any of that. Just plain salt and pepper, sometimes maybe a little onion powder, garlic powder, but not a lot. This is a pretty basic recipe. You can also put salt in your noodles, that's fine too. And then after this is done cooking, I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, our chicken and noodles are done, and I overshot the broth by probably a cup, so probably only 3 cups for 2 people. And I like to serve it with mashed potatoes and corn over the top. These are actually mashed cauliflower, but mashed potatoes are very good too. And I did boil this for 20 minutes. And a little corn on top. All right. And there it is. Enjoy. See you guys. Bye.